Hello everyone from the beautiful island of Zanzibar off the coast of Tanzania. This week we are starting the book of Devarim, the last book of the Torah, and unlike the four other books, there's something different about Devarim. So the book of Bereshit, Shemot, Vayikra, and Bamidbar are all God telling Moshe to tell us certain things. It's God using Moshe as a vessel to pass on the Torah to us. However, the book of Devarim means words. Literally, words. It is Moshe Rabbeinu's last words to the nation. This whole book actually is a week long of Moshe's speeches to the nation. And we're going to read it over the next few months and we'll learn it. We'll get it more into depth of what Moshe Rabbeinu is saying. But the idea behind it is Moshe telling us, in a way, his experience of what happened with the Jews in the desert for the past 40 years, our history once again, and Moshe is elaborating more on the mitzvahs and things that God told us beforehand. This is very, very unique because this is actually an introduction to the oral Torah. So the Torah is given to us as two separate parts that come together. The first part is the written Torah. That is what God gives us at Mount Sinai, at Har Sinai, and we bring down and that we can read. However, the oral Torah came down with it, which means God explains to Moshe what these things mean, and Moshe explains them to the nation, and the nation explains it to their children and their children and their children, till eventually it gets written down in the form of the Mishnah and the Gemara, and later on in the Halacha books. But before that, how did they know what tefillin were? The Torah says that we should put totafot bein enecha. What are totafot? The oral Torah tells us they are black boxes called tefillin. They have little scrolls inside of them, and this is what they're supposed to say. This is how they look, and this is what we're supposed to do. But they did that also back then. How did they know? Because the oral Torah came with the written Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu is telling us the beginning of the oral Torah in the 5th book. And it is so important that it becomes the 5th book of the Torah. And there is no level of hierarchy in the Torah, which means Bereshit, Shemot, Vayikra, Bamidbar, Devarim, they're all the same level of holiness, even though it is Moshe saying it and not God saying it. And that tells us something amazing. Now it happens to be that there is a hierarchy in the Torah, which means things that it explicitly says in the Torah take precedent over things that later on were said or interpreted by the rabbis. But this tells us that the Torah is dynamic. There is a part of it that comes with the oral tradition, that comes with teachings, that comes from generation to generation. And there's a part of it that's static. There's a part of it that's concrete, that does not move. And we need both of them to be able to survive. We need that stability, and we need it also to be able to, for us to adjust in our time to the Torah. And this is something amazing that we have in this last book of the Torah. Shabbat Shalom.